Yesterday's exercise was really just a place to dig things up and see what might you be overlooking. So we all had some things that we connected to when we were younger. And my purpose yesterday was for you to really be able to look at maybe what you forgot. Did life get in the way and you forgot what got you excited? You started trying to fit in, do what others think you should be doing, got busy, got responsible, became a grown up. And along the way, maybe you stopped playing. So, look at my head is cut off. So today we're going to talk about, did you lose track? Possibly because others didn't believe in you, maybe criticized what you were doing, and just made you feel small, right? So I've always been somebody who kind of followed my own path, right? And I definitely didn't have the support when I would come up with an idea. So I was left to figure things out on my own, which can be really exhausting. And when you have somebody constantly beating down your ideas and not standing behind you or not believing in you, it makes it really hard to stay focused on that end prize, right? I can remember back when I was, 16, so we're talking like almost 30 years ago. I wanted to go to school for cosmetology. It was something I wanted so badly. And my father just absolutely wanted nothing to do with it, did not want to pay for it. And it was devastating to me because I really thought that that was going to be me, that I was going to be this upscale hair designer and I was going to be in Manhattan and, everybody would know my name. I really believed this and would not pay for it, didn't want anything to do with it. And I said, okay. So I did it myself. And I fought tooth and nail through the whole thing. We had to practice doing perms at home, and it would stink up the whole house. I mean, I can't blame him for getting mad on that one, I guess. But just the criticism, constant criticism. He was not a supportive person by any means. He was very abusive. So it wasn't just the standard that, oh, you're not going to do this. It got into my head and it started to break me. Oh, you're not going to follow through. You're not going to finish this. You're not going to do that. And after a while, it starts to settle in and you start to say, maybe I can't do this. I had good grades. My grades were like in the 90s. It was the only class I was doing good in, actually. But maybe he's right. What if I can't do it? What if I fail? What if I don't make any money? What if, no one hires me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I can't do hair? What if, I question everything. Eventually, from trying to just balance all these things in my mind, I started to just want to give up. And I found excuses to not follow through. So what happened? I know, exactly. Well, I'm far past that now. But I was at a very vulnerable age, and I need my parents to support me, and he just completely broke me. And the hardest part about the whole thing was something that I thought was going to be my dream, something I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life. I gave up, and I let it get to me. And I actually ended up not graduating after putting 2 years of work into this. Excellent grades. I was top of my class. I started making excuses. Suddenly I started not going to class, not showing up, cutting out, going out to lunch with my friends instead, making excuses that, oh, well, it's the teacher. I don't like the teacher. Well, guess what? I could have dealt with it if I really wanted it. But in the back of my head, I would hear my father saying, oh, well, you can't do this anyway. You're not going to follow through anyway. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to waste my money on you. So, I mean, the course was maybe what? It was covered in my high school. So what did he have to invest? $500? So in my head, I'm like, I'm not worth $500 to you. And so it starts to take a toll on you when you hear it every single day. And I never pursued it. I'm someone, you could probably tell because I always have my hair all done crazy. I still love doing hair. I still love doing hair. I like doing makeup. I'm very girly. But you know what? It's still in my life. I haven't lost the momentum with it. Sometimes, if I have a friend that needs help, I'll help them out, but I don't do it for a living. Obviously, I'm doing the coaching. But I lost my momentum. Just like when I've shared the story before, I don't know if you heard it. I wanted to go to school for psychology. I decided that when I was 16, another path that I wanted to go on. But when I was 18, I ended up living on my own, having to do two mother. Of putting school into the equation, and I never went. So this is why I was saying yesterday, sometimes you have a dream, but it falls dim because of things that others say, when people don't believe in you or they criticize you. And so maybe they didn't criticize you specifically for your dream, but they criticized you for something else. So how do you work through that, right? You have to learn to let go and just build that confidence in yourself. So the order of the workshops, if you've been following along, these workshops all actually play onto each other. So first we talked about confidence and how to really stand on your own 2 feet and hold your ground and believe in yourself. And if you're coming into the group late and you haven't seen it, if you scroll back into the past videos, you'll see I did a whole series on different ways to help build up your confidence. So I think it's really important to have that confidence in place, because if there's something that you love, even if you haven't tried, you can still reconnect to it. And maybe the cosmetology isn't a full example for me, because right now I have a foot injury. If I had to stay on my feet all day long, I would probably be in tears. So I'm kind of glad that it worked out the way that it did. But my point is, I still incorporate it into my daily life. And I still get excited. If I had an opportunity to go to a convention, I would still do it. Even if it's not my career, it could still be my passion. So there's a difference there, right? You could still keep those things in your daily life. I still get excited when I see makeup tutorials, and I still get excited when I see different products to buy. I'm always trying to buy new things, and you can't bring me to Ulta because I will spend a fortune and wipe out my bank account at Ulta. So it's still in me. I still love all that stuff. It's playtime to me, right? It's fun. So think about yesterday. Yesterday I said to bring back your childhood. Your passion does not have to be your career. Oh no, it's saying, can you see me? It just said I disconnected for a minute. I hope I'm still connected. It just knocked me off for a minute there. I think I'm back on. But your passion can be your fun, I love all kinds of things with health and nutrition, and I've studied it really because I stopped believing in Western medicine because they couldn't help me. And I started just reading books and learning about things. And if you saw my bookshelf, I probably have 50 books on learning about your blood type and food and this, that, whatever. And I started just learning to do stuff for myself. And again, it has nothing to do with my career. I don't teach anything about nutrition. If my friends have a problem, they usually ask me, what do you think I should do? I have a ton of knowledge with the stuff, but it could be a passion and not a career. Sometimes I think people put an unfair burden when they hear passion, that it has to be perfect or that it has to bring them money, or it's the only thing that's going to keep them going. I had a conversation with my fiance the other day, and it was funny. I never saw this in myself, but he told me that he saw a calling in me. And that we just recently went to UPW together. We went to Tony Robbins, and he's on fire. He is just trying to recruit everyone to join Tony Robbins and go to UPW and do the fire walk and all this stuff. He's just on cloud nine. But he's even going to work, and he's trying to get people at work to convert. But it's funny because he looked at me and he's like, I give you so much credit. I said, why? He said, because of what you do every day. Like, he's trying to convert people, but you can't convert people to want to change unless they're ready to change. We all know that, right? So you can't just tell someone they have to do things differently. They have to want to do things differently. So he's trying to convert the world right now. It's nice, I guess. But he was telling me, he's like, I see what you do and how passionate and how excited you get. And you have a calling, meaning doing the coaching and personal development in my office and things like that. And I never even, hearing somebody else say it from the outside, it's so different. And I didn't realize like how driven I was. Like he was saying, when people have a calling, that's what they think about, morning, noon, and night, right? They wake up, they think about it. They go to sleep, they're still thinking. And he was making fun of me because everything that I do, I pick up my phone and I'm reading something else and looking at a new technique and this, that, whatever. And he's like, you just love it. It's a positive obsession, I guess. But yeah, exactly. It's hard to resist the urge. All we can do is share knowledge, but we can't push it down people's throat because it's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to turn people off. So if people want to receive it, they're going to listen. We can't make anyone change or make anyone do things if they don't want to do it in their gut, right? So I think that today, if you've experienced somebody who just made you feel bad, right? Just made you feel bad about what you had a dream, and maybe they were one of those negative talkers. You know, I posted about that the other day. If you ever heard the term energy vampire, you could go up to someone on fire with this powerhouse idea, and you're like, yes, I want to do this. It's great. I have it all mapped out. And they're like, you can't do that. And all of a sudden, like, your little buzz just got crushed. For one, you need new people. Because you want people around you that are going to support you, right? You can't always have the perfect days. You can't always be on. You can't always have the answers. So you want people around you that have your back. And you want people around you that can bring you up when you can't hold yourself up. Everybody's entitled to a bad day. People think that, oh, you're a coach. That means you're happy all the time and life is perfect. It's far from perfect. I work just as hard as everybody else. I just happen to take a couple of more classes and have some extra tools in my pocket. That's the only difference. And that's why I enjoy sharing those things with other people. So if there's things that I learned along the way and I had some difficult challenges in my life, and by sharing them and talking about them that I can help other people, then great. You know, my job's done for the day. So that's how I feel about it. So think of a time, if there's something specific that stands out to you, that you are ready to go, you are on fire, and whether that exact action was negated by something someone said to you, or did it bring up the past voice of something that someone said to you. So sometimes it's not the immediate contradiction that's torturing you and that's haunting you. It's the one that happened 10 years ago. The funny thing that I noticed about myself is, in the beginning of this, I started out talking about my father, how he said, oh no, you can't do that. You're not going to follow through. Do you want to know how that transitioned into me as an adult? Let someone try to tell me I can't do something now. Every single thing that I want to do, if my mind is made up, don't even bother talking to me about it. Because I'm so motivated and driven that I look at the end result so clearly. There is just nothing in the way. It's not an option. And I know that I'm going to reach that end, whatever it is, whatever I'm trying to accomplish. And I shared the other day, I wanted to move to the beach. I wanted to move to the ocean. But I had no job when I moved there. I had no job. I had a little bit of savings, not much to, in today's economy. And I moved there, showed the paperwork to my landlord, and I was just lucky that we connected. She was Buddhist. I think she kind of understood the coaching thing and what I was trying to achieve, and she took a chance on me. But if I had let all the doubts in my head creep up and my father's voice saying, you can't do that, you're not going to do well, you're not going to succeed, and all those negative thoughts, I never would have moved. I would have stayed where I was. I was miserable. I lived in Westchester. I hated it there. There's no beaches. There's no water. I felt trapped in land. But I had to trust my gut, if that makes sense. So if there's somebody whose voice is lingering in your mind, go through the forgiveness series I did last week. If you haven't done it yet, go through it. And if you have done it, go through it again. Because if their voice is holding on to your ability to push forward, I talked about rewriting the story. I could take my father not supporting me and not being my go-to, or my fan, or my father even. Think about the actions of what we expect of our parents. If I started looking at all that and dissecting it, I could easily have questioned myself and not done a lot of the things that I've done. But I rewrote my story. So in my mind, even though I'm not actually showing him in black and white, look what I did, in the back of my mind, that's become my programming. That he may think, oh, you can't do that, so I'm going to do it. Just because, and not in a spiteful way, not in a, it's not that I'm doing bad things with it. It actually pushes me to do good things. Because anytime I have an idea or I want to strive for something, I rewrite the end of the story and I kind of change how I'm feeling. So if my first instinct is, oh, I don't know if I could do it, I snap and I'm like, yes, I can do it. And so it's almost the opposite of doubt that kicks in for me. And I get that tunnel vision where I keep going until I get to the end. So think about who you need to forgive. Think about what you need to let go of. And whatever it is that held you down, that made your light fall dim, that whoever didn't believe in you, what is the opposite of that? And how do you turn that around? So think of the opposite of the doubt that you felt. Think of the opposite of the words that you received. And then make that your auto programming to reset when you start to trigger in your mind. So the mind is picking up the past thoughts. It's going into the subconscious and it's picking up the past thoughts. You want to be able to have that. It's another form of a reservoir that you can grab onto and start to say, okay, my go-to thought is, you can't do that. You're not going to finish that. My next thought is, how am I going to finish it? When am I going to finish it? And just take control of the situation. So a lot of these things that we're going to go through, it's just tweaking how you're looking at something. They're not these big earth-shattering answers that it's not a magic button that fixes everything. They're tiny little tweaks and tiny little adjustments. And that's why I've stretched all of this out into small lessons each day. So I hope that that helps. If you have any questions, if you have a question about today, if you have a question about any of the past videos, or you just want to say anything at all, feel free to post it in the comments. I'll hang out for a minute. We can chit-chat. And then I will be back tomorrow. So let me know if you have any questions, post it in the box below. Otherwise, I will wrap up. Okay. Nobody? I know there's a little lag time sometimes, so I'm going to hang out for a second. How's the weather by you guys? It is so hot here today. I feel like my air conditioning is not even kicking in. But be grateful we have air conditioning, right? This summer has just been the strangest summer. Every day it's been like 70-something degrees, and all of a sudden today it's like 95. All right, so it looks like you guys are all wrapped up. Awesome. So any questions, if you're catching it on the replay, post it below, and I will see you tomorrow. Love you guys.